Hi everybody. I hope everyone's doing good. I miss seeing your faces. I hope that everyone had a great Christmas break. I hope you remember me. I'm Miss Harper, and I'm so sad I'm not seeing y'all in person today, but I know that City Academy of Atlanta is doing everything right, making the best decisions. They prayed over y'all. I've prayed over y'all, and we're going to be back in person real soon. But until then, I get to work with y'all at home, and I got to film this in my home and do a writing activity with y'all. So, are y'all ready to get started? I am so excited for this one. So what I got to do is do one of my favorite things I love to do with my family, and you're going to get to do something with your family for this activity, and then we're going to write about it. So y'all can go ahead and do that activity, take 10, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. Do that activity with your parents, with your brothers, sisters, friends, whatever it may be, and think of an activity you love to do, and then we're going to write about it. So my activity that I love to do is something I did a lot over this Christmas break, and that is baking cookies with my family. So I made a storyboard to help us with our writing. It may look a little different than y'all's, but this is how I'm going to set mine up, and I think y'all's is pretty similar to this, so that y'all can go ahead and look at this and see. Y'all remember I'm new here, and y'all always help me out, so this is the best I can do. So what we're going to do first is write what we did. So I'm going to write that I baked cookies with my family. I can't wait to hear what activities y'all chose to do and write about. So I wrote right there, baked cookies with my family. So now I'm going to take my little squares and I'm going to draw the steps of what we did, and then we're going to write about it. So the first thing I did with my family is we got all our ingredients. So I'm going to do my best. Let's see, we had bowls, and I bet y'all know it. Y'all are so smart. Let me think of some of my ingredients. We had flour. We had some eggs. We had a little bit of oil, so maybe I'll draw a little jar. We had, let me think. We had a pan. It's not really an ingredient, but it's a tool. We had our oven mitt. That was important. Don't want to burn my fingers. My favorite part, we had chocolate chips. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And, some vanilla. That's important. A little bit of vanilla extract. Yum. So y'all see right there? I drew my ingredients. Okay. Now, the next thing we did, so first we got all of our ingredients. Then we mixed everything together and put it on the pan. So I'm going to draw the pan with everything on it because it was all mixed together. I bet some of y'all have baked cookies. What is y'all's favorite kind of cookie? You want to tell your mom or your dad? All right, there's my pan with all of our mixed ingredients. Then we stuck it in the oven. So I'm going to draw a little oven, and we put it on 350 like always. These cookies are making me hungry. Let's put 350 right there. So then we stuck it in the oven and we waited. So I'll draw a little clock. And then we got to eat them. Yay. That's my chocolate chip cookie that I got to eat. So can y'all see what I drew there? Good. Then I have to think, how did that make me feel? Well, those cookies made me feel so good. But I would say the whole activity as a whole made me feel very joyful. So I'm going to write that. It made me feel joyful. It was a good way to spend time with my mom and my dad and my brother, and we got to laugh and have a good time. So I wrote that this activity made me feel joyful. So now that I've made my storyboard with pictures, I'm going to write about it. So let's think. And y'all are going to write about your activity. So it's going to look a little different than mine because we all did different activities, but it's going to be the same idea with using special words to move our story along, right? So our first thing I did, and I'm going to start with that, I'm going to say first. First. My family, because we want to say who, right? My family gathered, right? Or got. I'm going to say gathered. All of our ingredients. That's a hard word to spell. Together. There you go. So I said first, my family gathered all of our ingredients together. But you know what? I want this to be such a good story because I want everyone to know what kind of cookies I made, what they were like, what kind of ingredients I used. And do you remember when we did that activity and it had a picture of a cat and we got to describe the kittens and what they were like, and we used, what are those words called? Adjectives, right? We used special adjectives to describe those kittens. So we said the soft, furry, tiny, cute little kitten, right? Instead of just saying the kitten. And that made our story so much better because then it made it exciting and we knew what we were talking about. So I want to add as many adjectives in this story as I can. So I said, first, my family gathered all of our ingredients together. We got yummy vanilla. That's a good adjective. Yummy vanilla. Let's say tiny chocolate chips. And let's say we got fluffy flour. Fluffy, gotta get on my next sheet of paper. Flour for our special cookies. Ooh, how about this? Special Christmas cookies. Another adjective. Christmas is also a noun. But since it's describing these cookies, it's an adjective. So, I'm going to show you my 2 pieces of paper. So I said, this is a special word right here. First, my family gathered all of our ingredients together. We got yummy vanilla, tiny chocolate chips, and fluffy flour for our special Christmas cookies. Do y'all see how those adjectives made it so much more exciting and so much more descriptive, so we know what kind of cookies we're talking about instead of just saying we got stuff for our cookies, right? This makes it so much more fun. So then, what do we do next when we want to go to our next step, which mine was mixing the ingredients and putting it on a pan? So my next word, I want to say next, we got our ingredients, right? So let's get our big word, our transition word. I know y'all knew that. Y'all are so smart. Next, that's my big word right there. Next, we mixed our ingredients in I'm going to describe my bowl. Big bowl. In a big bowl. Next, we mixed our ingredients in a big bowl and placed them on our Pan. Ooh, cooking pan. How about that? Another adjective. Do y'all see what I did there? So I said next, we mixed our ingredients in a big bowl and placed them on our cooking pan. Okay, so that's our way of describing what steps we took to mix our ingredients and what kind of bowl we put them in and what kind of pan. And then we're gonna come to my last one. So let's see. First we gathered all our ingredients, then we mixed our ingredients and put them on a pan. Finally, I'm gonna say finally. Y'all can say after that or next or following that or then. Okay, but I'm gonna say finally. Finally, that's our big transition word right there. Finally, we put them in the hot oven and next piece of paper. Wow, I'm writing a book over here. Waited. I think we waited about 15 minutes. So I'm going to say that, okay? 15 minutes for the cookies to bake, right? There you go. So I said, here, sorry. Finally, we put them in the hot oven and waited 15 minutes for the cookies to bake. So excited. So then my favorite part, this is always my favorite part of the story, is now you have to tell your reader how the experience made you feel. So I said that my experience made me feel very joyful, but you know, maybe you could say it made you feel excited or happy, or even maybe you played a game and you lost and it made you kind of sad. That's okay. Sometimes experiences make us sad and you can write about that. So I'm going to talk about how my experience made me joyful. But first, I'm going to describe how delicious my cookies were when they came out of the oven. So I'm going to say, when I ate my warm, gooey, I love that word, chocolate chip cookies, I felt so joyful. I spelled that. So joyful. And then you can talk about whether or not you want to do this again. So I'm going to say I would love to do this every Christmas. I would love to do this every Christmas. Ooh, I'm going to say with my family. Great. Okay, so I'm going to read that last bit. I said, when I ate my warm, gooey chocolate chip cookies, I felt so joyful. I would love to do this every Christmas with my family. All right, I'm going to read the story one last time all the way through, and then we're going to talk about it really quick. Y'all are doing awesome. I can't wait to hear y'all's story. So first, just a reminder, this is my storyboard. And what did we do? I said I wrote about how I baked cookies with my family, and I drew out my steps. So I drew my first step where I took my ingredients. I drew my next step where I mixed them and put them on the pan. And then I drew my last step where I put them in the oven and waited on them and then got to eat them. And I talked about how the experience made me feel so joyful. All right, so I'm going to read my story. I'm going to look at it this way. So first, My family gathered all of our ingredients together. We got yummy vanilla, tiny chocolate chip cookies, and fluffy flour for our special Christmas cookies. I'm sorry, I thought y'all could see it. Next, we mixed our ingredients in a big bowl and placed them on a cooking pan. Finally, we put them in the hot oven and waited 15 minutes for the cookies to bake. When I ate my warm, gooey chocolate chip cookies, I felt so joyful. I would love to do this every Christmas with my family. So I hope y'all can see how throughout the story we use words, we call them transition words, right? Such as first, next, then, finally, or you could even use ones like after that or following that. Any of those words that help you move from one sentence to the next and show your steps that you took. And that made the story flow really well, right? And then we used special adjectives so that people knew what we were talking about. Do you remember that time I told you anytime you write a story, imagine you're telling someone who has lost their vision and they want to know everything about what they're missing out on seeing. And so instead of saying, right there's a cake, you say, oh, and because you want to make them know what you're looking at, you say, oh, there's a huge gooey rainbow cake with rainbow sprinkles and white icing and lots of flowers on top, and there's even candles, birthday candles. And they would love to hear all those adjectives that you use to describe it, right? Because they can't see it. And so that's what we should try and do in our stories. We got it, because these people, y'all didn't see my cookies, right? And so since y'all didn't see them, I want to use all the adjectives I can to describe them so that y'all know what my cookies were like. Instead of just saying, I made chocolate chip cookies, I said, I made warm, gooey, yummy chocolate chip cookies so that y'all have an idea what it's like, right? I can't wait to hear your stories about what y'all did with your family. I know they're going to be so great, so full of descriptive adjectives and lots of transition words, and I know that you're going to probably have done lots of really cool things over break that I can't wait to hear about. I can't wait to see y'all in a week and hug all of y'all again and be back to hear your stories. It's been so good filming this for y'all. I hope it made sense. I hope everything flowed well. And y'all have a great rest of your day, okay? Bye, guys.